At first I complained. I was angry. Why is it that I have to work on changing while they're born already beautiful? I remember my older brother once told me that life was too short, so you should only eat foods you like. The next week he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. One of the most important things I've learned is that there's a difference between pleasure and happiness. Pleasure is masturbation and psychedelics. Happiness is seeing your younger brother turn 12 years old. As I've matured, I've grown to prefer the latter. But the hardest part about it is that it's a trade-off. You can't have both. That's a sacrifice you have to be willing to make. 1 Corinthians 13 says, "Love is patient, love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful, or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things." Taking that definition in mind, would you dare say that you love yourself? There's this quote that I have replayed over and over again in my head throughout the past couple months. I don't remember who said it, but it goes, "A man cannot reinvent himself without suffering, for he is both the sculptor and the marble." One of the most abstract ideas I've realized is that no matter how much you reinvent yourself, no matter how much you change, you will always be you. No matter who you are on the outside, the you on the inside will remain. Even though the stone needs to be sculpted in order to be art, that doesn't mean the stone is any less beautiful. Loving oneself is loving the stone while trying to sculpt it. Not for anyone else, but for you. So you can like your sculpture. I still think I'm fat. People say I'm way too thin now. I look good, but I still feel fat. I'm afraid it never goes away. That feeling. I'm afraid it does, and the stone will change along with it. I need to detach myself from my sculpture, just like Michelangelo did with David. Maybe one day, with all this minimalistic art and all these white paintings, there will be a sculpture in a museum of just a big block of stone. Just a big rectangle standing up. Because in the beginning and the end of the day, God made man in his very own image. Thank you. No one's actually clapping, it's just a sound effect I edited in.